I wander on these crowded roads, wander through these streets, lie in fields of lonely rose, sown in empty seed. And what I need is the power of a woman, the healing of her touch, those eyes that bring redemption to every one of us. And all I need is the summer of her solace, the fall of her gaze, the winter snows of her concerns, that blossoms springs to change. I need her hand to guide me to a higher star and hold me back again when I have strayed too far. And when that commotion hurries this world to disarray, give me the power of a woman and I will be okay. Something that really grabbed my attention, a beautiful poem written by Prabhat Anudalla. Of course, very good morning to all of you, but especially a very good morning to all the women in Sri Lanka. Now, of course, you may be a mother to a child, a sister to a brother, a wife to a husband, or even a friend to a friend. But you are special. And today we are going to celebrate that this morning under the Sri Lankan theme of the International Women's Day, which is Let's Protect Her Who Protects the Family. My name is Wasam Ismail and you are watching Good Morning Sri Lanka here on NTV Sports. Now, this morning I feel a little bit like a thorn among roses because I'm actually in the studio with four lovely ladies, and one of them actually includes my co-host Sam, who I'm actually presenting the show for the first time with. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning.
And of course we have a few iconic personalities joined with us to discuss the topic and to discuss issues and of course International Women's Day in general. Sam?
Yes, good morning, Wazam.
Good morning to you too.
It's a beautiful day. It's International Women's Day and we're so excited to be here. I'm so privileged to be here to host this show, especially with the wonderful ladies we have in the studio with us. You can do the honors of introducing our first guest.
Of course, in the studio we have Amanda Van Dort, who is the country director for Emerge Lanka Foundation. And we have Stephanie Sirivardhana, who is Miss Sri Lanka, who was Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe in 2011. And of course she has the Stephanie Sirivardhana Foundation. And the third guest, Sam?
Yes, our third guest is also a very, very special lady. She's a multi-talented person. She has done a lot in terms of music and also she is an educator. Her most prolific achievement in the recent past has been she was the award winner for the Gratian Award, and we're really excited to have her because we have three very versatile women here. They're all three professional women and they have a lot of experience in the field of women's rights and what women are going through today.
Definitely. And also what's interesting about this morning's show is, of course, we did start with a very positive note on Women's Day, but we have three different personalities. And what we kind of realize is not all three of them really agree on the same thing. So of course later on we'll be discussing further on that topic. But to begin with, Madhur Bhashini, if I'm to ask you a little bit about yourself so our viewers get an idea, just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I work in the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. I'm a senior lecturer there, and right now I work as the head of the English language teaching unit. That's my profession. My love is to write. I have been writing as a child to date, and that's about it. I love music. That's a hobby, but that kind of describes me.
Of course, Madhur Bhashini is a Gratian Prize winner for this book, which I am holding here right now. There is something I have to tell you, and indeed today, this morning, she comes with a lot of opinions which she will share with us, which we will get on to a little bit later. How about you, Stephanie? A little bit about yourself. I know you are Miss Sri Lanka for Miss Universe in 2011, and also you do head the foundation, which is a Stephanie Sirivardhana Foundation. Could you just elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, my foundation, it strives to empower, inspire and educate women, children, youth. And it has, big events which, obviously Women's Day and youth conferences which are supposed to empower people and make them feel that, you know, a lot of people feel that they cannot make a difference. It's just one person, it's just me, what can I do? So it really strives to change that opinion and to also help people be less apathetic and actually be participants, you know, active participants in all the issues that affect them, and not just, you know, oh, what can I do? So I do that. I mean, that's what my foundation strives to do. And also I am part of the Global Shapers, which is part of the World Economic Forum. So over there we're connected internationally, and you can talk about common issues with different participants all over the world. And of course you can go attend the conferences which happen, and it's just an amazing platform.
Amanda, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and also your wonderful foundation.
Okay, so my name is Amanda. I'm the country director of Emerge Lanka Foundation. And Emerge was started by an American girl. It was founded to help teenage girls, survivors of sexual assault and abuse. Some of these girls are teenage mothers due to rape and often incest. So for their protection, they're placed in shelters under the probation department. And they're in these shelters for the duration of their court case. So while that court case is going on, Emerge stands up for these girls while they stand up and testify in court. We equip them with business and life skills training. They also make beautiful jewelry, which we sell and put into their bank accounts, and we believe in economic empowerment as, you know, one of our major goals.
Of course, Sam, now just as I was introducing our guests and we were talking about it on the show, I did say that our guests do have different opinions on Women's Day. So I think it'll be interesting to explore that area a little bit, Sam. So I'm going to first ask Amanda. Amanda, what is your opinion on International Women's Day?
I believe that International Women's Day is a very important initiative. I think that the international community saw a need for a specific day, carving out a specific day to highlight some of the issues that women were facing. And I think if women weren't facing these issues, there wouldn't be a need. I think they responded to that need, and in that way, Women's Day is extremely important because it serves as a platform to start talking about these issues. At the same time, there's a lot of social movements that have come out of one day of focused effort.
I see. How about you, Stephanie?
I have to say I completely agree with Amanda. I mean, that's why I am hosting Women's Day on March 10th. So I really believe in the cause, and I really think that Amanda put it perfectly.
I see.
Madhupashni, what about you? What is your opinion about Women's Day?
Okay, I mean, I truly believe in women empowerment, but I'm a bit skeptic of just having one day, because for me it's not just focusing, it should be 365 days of the year. And I also feel if we are talking about equality, they should also have a Men's Day. So to have no Men's Day but one Women's Day,
That's true.
for me it just doesn't, it seems a little like tokenism, which I don't quite agree with.
If you could elaborate a little bit on what you said about tokenism, because that is a current debate that is running in lots of rights groups. They believe that this, exactly what you said, tokenism and positive discrimination, now these are things that should be avoided. But are we as a country in a place have we come to the ideal place where we can talk about equality in terms of the real ideal state? If you could just elaborate on that, especially as an educator.
Okay, I don't think we as a country is relevant here. I think it's an International Women's Day. Yes, the whole world is just giving one day for women when, look, we are half the planet. So why just one day? And then why not a Men's Day? If it's tokenism, have it for both sexes. Right, having said that, when it comes to Sri Lanka, no, I mean, I completely agree with the fact that there are such real issues, pressing issues we have to deal with. So, just to have one day is to like kind of, okay, you're there, we acknowledged you, and then we'll get on with our lives. That bothers me, because as Amanda said, yes, it may have...
Amanda is vigorously nodding her head, so if you could tell us your opinion as well.
No, I understand your point of view. I also respectfully disagree, because I do think that although it's an international movement, I think it's up to each country to really take the focus of Women's Day and apply it to the individual issues that are going on. So as you were saying, Sri Lanka is is Sri Lanka at a place to discuss women's issues on a stage of equality? I would think that that's what we're hoping for, and I think that that's what women's rights activists are pushing for. But having a day for men. I gave this example earlier that even in America we don't have a Caucasian day. We have a majority Caucasian country. We have an African American day. We have we have different days for minorities because that was a need. There was a need to address those issues. So out of that need arose a day. And I do think 365 days would be awesome, but we are dealing in a globalized world, a very fast-paced world, where one day of focused effort is actually a huge accomplishment.
And it's also not just to get those who are generally passionate about it and who work on it to take action, it's to get the general public to be aware of what's going on. Because the general public, we live in a very fast-paced world. Everyone has to go to work, has to drop the kids off. They don't have time to stop and realize, oh, these are the issues. Realistically. So it's just to get...
Yes, agree with what you're saying, yes. Like you're talking about the minority day. My feeling is that when we acknowledge it at this level, we are reinforcing the minority position. We are not trying to move them into the center. They'll always be peripheral.
I actually do agree with what you're saying. I think the same applies to when you use bad words.
Yes.
You kind of take away from their effect, I guess.
I disagree. I think it's the way you spin it. You could spin it. You could say we're having a day for homosexuals, and I could spin it and say oh, this day for homosexuals. Homosexuals are so bad, remember? Or I could spin it and say, oh, this day for homosexuals. Now we're talking about these issues. I never even thought about these issues. Now I'm stimulated, and now I'm thinking about this, and maybe I'm going to change my opinion.
Okay, I'm going to stop you guys there for a moment, and I'm going to go back to a point which Madhubhashini made, of course, which is that why have one day for women? Why not have 365 days? Why isn't there a men's day? Now I'm going to throw this question at you. Over the centuries, we've seen that it has always been male-dominated, and of course, even up to date, there are a lot of cultures, if you monitor globally, where males still dominate over women in terms of rights and, of course, a lot of issues. So, in terms of having International Women's Day, don't you think that it could be a start to getting somewhere?
I'm going to retract again to your question. I don't think it was always male dominance. There are tribes like Amazon. Right. There are matriarchal empowered tribes in the world. That's something else. Secondly, I think, Vasant, there is a danger in naturalizing things just because. Some absolutely discriminatory things are naturalized to make us feel that if you question them, we are questioning the order of nature, when it is not so, when it was human-made and put into place. So even your question reinforces some of the naturalizations that have happened. So that's the danger.
Kind of elaborate on some of that?
Yes. When Vasant says that it has always been like this in history. Yes, so that is wrong.
Just to rephrase, what I meant was majority.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we live in a patriarchal world. For example, in the States, in Canada, which we think are first world countries, for every $1 a man makes, a woman makes only 75 cents for doing the exact same thing.
Correct.
In Africa, female circumcision still takes place.
I totally agree. It's there. What I'm saying is, it's not an order of nature. We put it there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that disagrees with what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I see. Definitely a lot of opinions there, Sam.
Yes,
quite interesting.
and also it was very interesting how we did discuss the matriarchal societal structure as well, because that isn't something that we discuss. That's not something that is taught in the textbooks, because when you talk about the head of the household, if you ask any child, they will say it's the father.
There's a good saying for that I have to share with you. They say a man might be the head of the family, but the woman's the neck.
on that note, we have to take a short commercial break. So we will come right back with our wonderful guests to talk about all these things. There's so many things coming up. We are going to talk about the political representation of women, reproductive rights of women, and also women in media and education and girls. So all these things are coming up.
Not to mention chivalry.
We are getting to that as well. So please stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side.